It's Saturday morning, bright and squirrely. Well, not real early. It's like 8 o'clock-ish or something. I got all the parts in for the Travelall. It's been raining so much here that if it was 37 more days and nights, we'd be hunting a big boat. Right, bud?
Yep.
Which is why I got today off. It's rained too much. So, we're going to put the Travelall yonder together. And I'm a little slow on this technology stuff, but I got a new toy. That thing there is awesome. I got to figure out how to get Wi-Fi up here next. And I got a GoPro camera somebody gave me, which was a pretty cool gift. A guy at work. I'm going to have to play with that a little bit. Figure that one out. Maybe you'll help me. Watch it, you don't drag that against the paint.
I was careful.
Okay. Alright, let's get busy. Alright, I've spent a few hours here organizing a little bit. You can't tell it though, can you? I dug them things out. I'm going to try to get rid of those. And a few other items I'm never going to need. I borrowed the neighbor and he come over and helped me carry this intake manifold in. Not really, but that thing is heavy. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna plug this up. I think I'm gonna plug them right here. Now, on some you can just put a piece of stainless steel in the gasket and block them off, but this one you cannot because the gaskets themselves are just real thin metal. So I'm gonna think of something here. Might involve JB weld. But before I get too heavy into that, I need to make sure that intake valve on the number 8 cylinder is not stuck. Well, I just took a rubber mallet and whacked the valve and it is free. So, not sure why we had a bent push rod. It might be that the fella that I bought this from, it sat for a long time at his place. Maybe he bent the push rod when he was trying to get it running. I don't know. Anyway, valve is free. So I think we're safe to reassemble after I clean it up. The blonde one's over there putting the tailpipe back on the VW. That's good. That car is going to make a long trip pretty soon. On a trailer though. You know, I like that doggone thing so good. I'm wondering if there's some way to make this old Techniques stereo in here, which sounds pretty awesome, to work on Bluetooth. But as we all know, radio stations, you can't get any decent music anymore. But this Pandora thing works pretty good. I don't know. Maybe Stowboat 50 knows how. This one don't have no plug in the front like newer radios do. Anyway, I'm going to go buy a whole bunch of JB weld, I think. Hope none of that blonde hair gets in that greasy intake manifold.
Won't be first.
Alright, I got that one plugged up. Used about a half a tube of that stuff. And I cleaned up. This thing is heavier than heck. I cleaned up the inside there with a little burr. Like so. So let me go on and plug this one up. Now what's she doing?
Ain't no telling.
You know, with your hair like that, you look like that singer on Guns N' Roses. What's his name? She's gonna refinish this thing. I don't know if I approve of that, but I guess it doesn't matter. This thing's pretty old. I think those are called dovetail, maybe. Looks like some rodents have chewed on it at one time. These are obviously not original.
No.
What's the story? My mom got this from her grandmother or something.
Her grandmother had it when she was 8. Her mother had it when she was 8. And she had it when she was 8. And it was given to our daughter when she was 8. But I didn't.
Ain't that great?
But I didn't think she'd take care of it. But now she's old enough. See, you can see it's been redone.
Anyway, it's pretty old. Or so the story goes. I've been working on cleaning up stuff. By the way, if you need this gasket, when you call the parts store, don't call it a valley pan gasket. Call it a push rod cover gasket. If you say valley pan gasket, at least at the 4 stores I called, they'll say, "I'm sorry, sir, that item is not available." But if you say push rod cover gasket, they'll say, "Sure, I can have that tomorrow." Just so you know. Got them sealed up. That stuff's hardening up. That'll be okay. Now I need to put all my push rods in, I guess. Well, I'm not looking forward to wrestling that intake manifold back in there. That thing's heavy.
Gotta move 50 vehicles to clear a spot.
What?
Gotta move 50 vehicles to clear a spot.
Nonsense. It's only half a dozen.
Okay, nothing like that.
Making a bunch of racket. Alright, if I hurry, I'll be able to make a quick video before she turns on that sander. Here's my new push rod. I got that on eBay. Cost $6.99. Couldn't get it locally, or at least very readily. And there's the old push rods. I'm gonna go stab them in the motor right now. Got the push rods in. Now I need to get the rocker arm assembly, but check out those valves. This thing's pretty wild. This might be a unsung high-performance hero here. I swear, I don't think I want to get rid of this thing. Wouldn't this motor be cool in a Model A or something?
Yeah.
What you running there, Sonny? Well, that's a 392 International. Just a tractor motor. Everything looks mucho bueno on the rocker arm assembly. Don't see any problems. So I think I'm going to clean it up and put it on. Then we'll spin the motor over and make sure everything functions correctly and don't bend no more push rods. Looks like our engine building technique failed.
It did.
Yeah. You making all this sawdust over here. It's maybe contributed to this problem.
My sawdust?
Yeah. Huh. Actually, that doesn't have anything to do with it.
I didn't figure it did.
But I think I figured out why that push rod bent. As I was putting the rocker arm assembly in, if you can see right there, that pedestal split. I noticed it split on that end before I started tightening the bolt up, and I thought maybe that was just how it was supposed to be, but I can see that on this side it is not, and as I tightened it down it spread. So we're gonna have to see how hard it is to come by either a pedestal or a rocker arm shaft assembly. That's what I said. Well, we've solved that problem, but now we got another problem, which probably caused that problem. We're just full of problems. And we fixed that problem there, so I don't think that'll be a problem. And this one out here, as I was saying, the problem is we solved all the other problems, but we still got a problem. Which poses a problem, because I expect I'll have a problem finding that thing. but I don't think that should stop me from putting the push rod cover gasket on, or the push rod cover on with its new gasket, or the intake manifold. By the way, it's kind of funny. Called the parts place looking for parts for this. I said it's a 1974 International Travelall 392 engine. And one guy said, "Sir, I'll need to know what the model of the vehicle is." I said, "I just told you. It's a Travelall." He said, "Yes, I'm trying to figure out what the vehicle is." I said, "Well, call it a pickup, a 100. He said, "Oh, okay." Use that stuff sparingly. It's going to squirt out all over the place when it cures.
I know this. Ain't first time at this ball game.
Okay. Okay. Are you done with that infernal sander yet?
I think so.
Alright, good. Maybe I can have some peace and quiet. I called the preacher. He knew a feller with a bunch of international motors, but he needed everything he had. So I guess I'm going to have to do some hunting on eBay or something. Anyway, I'm going to put together what I can and let her go with that. Might need to get out my chain fall over here so I can set that intake manifold. Or maybe the wife will help me. Huh?
Do what?
Set that intake manifold.
I think you're good. I got stuff to do.
See how that works? Mm-hmm. Be careful. Don't lose the definition of the shapes.
I know this.
I don't know why I'm telling her anything. I know zero about woodworking. Sanding blocks work good.
There's a lot of curves in here. And I'm not trying to
You
lose
got
the
that right.
definition. Mrshevyshevy.
Alright. I wrestled the intake manifold back in and about blew out a gizzard doing it. I had to rig this so I could have some kind of way to hang on to it. This thing has got, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 16 bolts in the intake manifold. Is that right? 2, 4, 6, yeah. This sucker ain't going nowhere. The sun has popped out here and it's starting to get hot. That was flopping down, so I fixed it. That'll be fine. Valve cover back in place on this side. Intake manifold torqued down using Elderly Iron's torque wrench method. By the way, he sent me some stickers. I got some cool stickers from him. I need to put them on the truck. Right?
What? I didn't hear you.
Just agree with me. You know I'm right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure,
Right.
Dad. Absolutely. What you got there?
Money! Fake money.
That's what I feel like sometimes. How much money did you say you had?
In this stack is $1,004,063, and I got a whole bunch more somewhere else. I counted up them for a long time ago with all these.
Boy, I wish I had your troubles.
And they're $3 billion
$3 billion.
with all these put together. I got a whole stack of them somewhere.
Maybe I'll move in with you. After you got a place for me to move to. We gotta fix this. I think the spring is bad under the accelerator pump. See there? That's not cool. But that's an easy fix. You know, we really need a camera crew around here.
That wasn't even funny.
Exactly what I just said. That'd be funny to catch on camera.
She got a spider on her. And this is the aftermath. We tipped over the polyurethane or whatever it is she's using.
I didn't do it though.
I banged my head on the hood. Probably have a concussion. And it startled the little guy so much he kicked over the polyurethane. And it was just a spider.
It's never just a spider.
Guess we could go get your fake spider.
I don't know what I did with it. Mom found it.
What'd you do with it?
Into that, I don't know. She found it at a computer desk last time.
And here's the offending part. It's broke. See there? Fell apart. And that's the whole reason we can't fire that thing up today, which is a major bummer. After I get ready, I'll go in and see how hard it is to come by one of those. Probably not too hard. I don't know. It's an international. So, I've been theorizing. You know what that means? Me either, but it sounded good, so I used that word. I've been thinking about why that is broke and why the push rod is bent. I suppose it's conceivable that the valve was stuck at some point and they started the engine and it pushed so much stress on it, it broke that and bent the push rod. Or whenever it was installed the first time, this was over torqued and split it, which let the rocker arm shaft wiggle around and the push rod spit out and then bend it. Or something else. Well, I spent a few minutes on the phone looking. Don't seem to be too readily available. Anyway, I'll have to find one. I don't want to work on this thing too much. I'll fall in love and not be able to sell it. Right, Mrshevyshevy?
Oh, we'll be able to sell it.
Is that right? I think you'd look good driving this thing around.
Never.
She doesn't sound all that excited about it.
I'm not.
I don't know. I will begrudgingly admit that it looks better. Except, maybe you should have sanded it right there a little bit more.
Kept sanding it and kept sanding it.
Maybe you'll have to reuse the same hinges. What kind of wood is that? It ain't oak, I don't think.
I don't know, but there's a variation of wood.
Maple, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, you're clogging up my shop with wood stuff again.
Hey, it's family history.
How am I going to get my car in here? Alright. She says I have to cook, so I guess I better go do that.
Cracking the whip.
I had in mind that I was going to try to weld this just to see if I could do it. And I put it in the vise to tighten up that gap and broke it right there. So I guess I won't do that. Doggone it. I forgot to try out my GoPro too.
Yep.
Too bad I gotta go to work tomorrow. Maybe I'll drive one of the old cars.
It should be a sin to work on Sunday.
It is.
I know.
But you gotta get your ox out of the ditch.
This is true.
Guess we could see if she done good fixing the oil leak. Better get my other foot in here. What the heck? Usually the old girl fires up by now. There it goes. good. There's the GoPro I ain't used yet. I went and bought a suction cup mount for it. It said it's good for up to 150 miles an hour, so a little bummed about that. I'm gonna have to slow down when I drive. But we'll try that thing out here sometime.